Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce, where we review and discuss your and our favorite comedy films. This is the world's first and only combination trivia host and professional wrestling announcer of Chilean descent that currently resides in Southern California, Ozzy V. And with me, as always, on this program, first in the Northern California Bay Area, world's famous juggler, Greg Larson. How you doing, Greg?
Man, life is fantastic. Life is good. Can't really complain for the most part. How about yourself, Ozzy?
We are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL kickoff. And several people, I'm sure at this time, this is being seen. A lot of people have had your fantasy football drafts. As you can see, what I did is I just call it a fee to retain my championship, my home league, for this trophy that I have, because my rest of the league doesn't want to switch to PPR scoring. So I just continue to dominate them year after year. And whatever, I'll just keep taking their money and their trophy as well. But that is not the only person on this program. Todd, how are you? Flesh Wound producer.
Hey ho, I'm good.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, this week, it is Labor Day today, that September 5th. So in honor of Labor Day, we are reviewing and discussing the film Horrible Bosses. Todd, do you have the trailer available?
Yes, sir.
You want one?
It's 8:15 a.m.
It's 18-year-old Scott.
If you want a promotion, you gotta earn it. Did I tell you that Harkin tricked me into having a drink at 8 o'clock this morning?
Unless your boss isn't sexually harassing you.
See if this thing is working. Oh! I can make out our little friend right there.
Stop it.
Ooh, Shabbat Shalom. Somebody's circumcised.
You know, yours doesn't sound that bad.
We need to trim some of the fat.
What do you mean by trim the fat?
I want you to fire the fat people. You can start with Large Marge. Marge, can you come in here, please?
What? I thought he was going to give you a promotion.
Yeah, no, he is.
I have decided who I want to be our new vice president of sales. Me.
What do you say?
Nick, please, we're in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just attribute this to your drinking problem.
You would have to admit our lives would be easier if our bosses weren't alive.
You can fire Professor Xavier.
You mean Hank?
Creeps me out, rolling around all day in his special little secret chair.
I don't care how bad our bosses are. We're not murderers.
This little sweetheart right here
My fiance.
is going to get a peek at my little photo album.
You did all this while I was unconscious?
That's my favorite.
I'm in! Let's kill this bitch! We gotta hire a professional.
Does anyone here kill people for money?
I'm gonna be your murder consultant.
Word.
You wanna pull off a brilliant murder? It's gotta look like it's an accident. You gotta be smart.
It's gotta be worth what, 15,000? I feel like everything's gonna work out. Look how fast I'm picking out this crap, you know? I'm moving like super fast. I can't even feel my nose.
Find them vulnerable.
Peanuts? That was a peanut butter sandwich. Are you not good with peanuts?
Whoa. Look at this.
What about little jabs? Little jabs?
My boss, who we're planning to kill, is dying in front of you and you saved his life?
Well, that sounds bad when you say it like that.
I was surveilling your boss.
She's incredibly
Don't
hot.
talk about how hot she is.
She makes herself a little snack, a popsicle, a banana, and finally, a hot dog. And eating them in that weird order, that's not a proper meal. It's cold to hot.
I can crush you anytime I want.
Explain why you're doing 61 in a 25 zone.
I was drag racing.
In a Prius.
I don't win a lot.
That was Horrible Bosses, released on July 8th, 2011. Starring Jason Bateman, Jason Sudeikis. I guess I never made that connection, even just writing it down. Charlie Day, Jennifer Aniston, Colin Farrell, Kevin Spacey, also Donald Sutherland and Jamie Foxx. Directed by Seth Gordon, written by Michael Markowitz, who the story is from. Also screenplay John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. Some initial thoughts on here. I hadn't seen this actually not till a couple of years ago. My sister is a huge fan when this had come out, and she actually purchased the totally inappropriate edition for me. And I just found it amusing how close the word totally inappropriate was close to Kevin Spacey's face. Just
Ooh.
it was right there.
At least it wasn't distributed by Dimension too, so we got
There
that.
you go. That would have been a double whammy. But initially, I had loved it. So when Greg, you had suggested this for Labor Day, I was totally on board to revisit this. I remember loving it the first time around, and I still love it just as much. But more on that a little bit later. How about your initial thoughts?
This was one, believe it or not, I'd not seen before. So
Holy Toledo.
Yeah. So this was a lot of fun. We've all definitely had that boss. And what I really enjoyed about this movie,
I'll just go ahead and say it, Michael McManigal. I mean, we all sorry, I just had to say, but I mean, I'll get into specific detail where like anybody that might know who I'm talking about, I'll cite a specific scene and be like, oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
so I'm sorry, go on.
No. Yeah, so this was definitely a fun flick. This did raise a little bit of awareness for me, and I just want to say, Flesh Wound fans, get your voice out there. There's a Jamie Foxx movie that has been made that involves Robert Downey Jr. that they are not releasing, and let your voice be heard that it needs to come out because Jamie Foxx is fantastic. And Robert Downey Jr., I think, will be also fantastic in this flick. So go out there. They're not releasing it because they're worried about sensitivity and all that fun jazz.
Because Robert Downey Jr. plays a Hispanic man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tropic Thunder, people. So,
I know,
but
Tropic
anyway.
Thunder was 2008, though. So
I know.
And then he even said he regretted that. So it was like even more awkward.
Yeah. But Jamie
Well,
Foxx
he
is
had to.
brilliant. Like,
no, absolutely. Jamie Foxx as his. Go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
yeah, no, that's all it is. Like he needs to. I think his voice needs to be out there, and if he put this out there, I'm guessing it's gonna be a fun flick.
Oscar winner, Jamie Foxx.
That's right.
Oscar winner. Todd,
Are we still talking about Jamie Foxx? I was going to put
this
over
is initial thoughts. You can add in any Jamie Foxx.
I'm still going to put over Day Shift on Netflix. We reviewed it this past week. I was a fan. It's a horror comedy.
Okay.
I actually
are you cheating on this on the show? I mean, it's a comedy, and it's Flesh Wound Farce. I mean, I don't know
it's a horror comedy, so it kind of falls into both. And
okay, all right.
By the time we got to Day Shift, it would have been not relevant. So there's
fair
that.
point. All right. Continue.
I'd seen this once before, well, technically twice before, but I didn't remember the first time I watched it. The first time I actually watched it and just like totally paid attention was earlier this year. It was probably like one of the fourth movies I watched this year, and I loved it. So I was kind of, even though what
did you say? One of the fourth movies you saw this year?
One of the first.
Okay.
No.
Sorry,
no.
I mean, like I'm just listening, and I, the transcriber in my brain was like, he just said one of the fourth movies he saw. That's not. Don't blame me. Blame the transcriber in my brain. Blame them.
That's all right.
Not my fault.
It's all right. My brain was going faster than I was talking.
Okay.
And now I don't have the rest. So, no, I remember. So I'll be honest. I was actually kind of like, I just watched it, so I really want to watch it again. But then I did, and I was glued. It was still just as hilarious.
Yeah.
Because like if it would have been like a few years, I would have been absolutely just that little bit of time, and
it helps that all three of the bosses do such a fantastic job of being so terrible and so.
I don't know. I don't know what Charlie Day was bitching about. 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, in any story, if you start with a great villain, you're gonna have a good story. And here you have 3 great villains in their own way. And I had 2 pages worth of stuff that I was writing down. There were several moments where I was laughing and I was missing other stuff that was happening. So I found myself going back repeatedly just to see stuff again and whatnot. But when it comes to a particular favorite moment, I'm a little biased because when I heard this, it's like I heard this from somebody else's perspective, but talking about me. And that was I pissed him off already. Already? And for some reason, I just was laughing so hard, I almost dislocated my shoulder. Like it literally felt like it was going to come out. It felt like it was going to come out of its socket. I'm not lying. Just because like I guess I had that kind of same frustration that Jason Bateman's character had, Nick, of that just Charlie Day's character seems to be the one that always seems to be the one that always annoys him. So just for him to say, I pissed him off already, and Kurt replying with already, it's like usually it takes you like an hour or two. And I felt like I've been on the other end of that. So maybe I have some bias, but that was the moment that made me laugh the hardest, where I'm pretty sure my left shoulder popped out of its socket.
Would you say you were vomiting laughter during this time?
I was in pain. Okay. My face was in pain. There was pain in my brain.
So you may have
I was vomiting. I was vomiting laughter.
All right.
I was vomiting laughter during a lot of this movie, to be honest.
Excellent.
But that was one specifically just because like it hit home to me. And I'll see what you guys say for your moments. But if you don't cover some of my others, I'll say that. But go ahead, Greg.
So, pun intended, this was a murderer's row of actors to choose between great moments. So it was really difficult, but like the moment that was just so like great was when they and it was in the trailer too. When he says, "You were drag racing in a Prius," and he was just like, "I don't win a lot."
Yeah.
I lost it. It was just so good. There were so many great moments, so it really was hard to choose between. But yeah, that one hit me the hardest.
Todd?
Yeah, you sure you want to ask me? All right. Well, first, before I say my line, I do want to give it props for the Hitchcock reference and the fact none of them, like, they all know Throw Mama from the Train instead. That just made me, that was okay. I'm looking at all my lines. I'll just go like this. Charlie Day was being harassed, and his response is, and Jennifer Aniston responses, "Oh, relax there, Jodie Foster." I lost it. For those that have never seen the Jodie Foster movie, The Accused, you might get it a little better. But it's a throwaway line, and I couldn't stop. I had immediately messaged Pugs it is his favorite movie. So.
Do you guys think we can go around 2 on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure.
All right.
Go for it.
No, go. Oh, okay. You're letting him go for it. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, basically, anytime Kurt's lines, Jason Sudeikis, his comebacks, specifically like where Dale comes in saying, "All right, I'm in. Let's kill the bitch," or whatever, and Kurt says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go home." Nick says, "You live here." "Oh, really? I couldn't tell by the way you're going in my fridge and drinking all my beer." just that like subtle anger, but just like so precise choosing of word. It just hit home. And also, I think he had a line in there like, "Yeah, that Danny DeVito Hitchcock movie." Just made me crack up. Stuff like that.
That was solid. Like there were so many great moments in this film.
Greg.
Yeah. There's one moment that is a favorite, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody, so I'm gonna leave it out, but it has to do with an end joke of who becomes boss at the end. But I'm just gonna say, yeah. But the one that I just have to say that didn't age well, but made me laugh really hard was because I've got some coconut.
Todd?
I guess I have to say Jamie Foxx's character versus his name.
He, like, as small as it was, just 100% committed to it. I don't remember whatever movie that he said he had bootlegged or whatever. And
it was the Brad Pitt one. Legends of the Fall.
Whatever. But basically,
So you did see it.
Where Kurt's character was like, I can't believe for some Ethan Hawke movie. So you do know the movie. Just made me bust up laughing.
Well, and thank you, Ozzy, for telling my next favorite moment. Go ahead.
I already said it. So
exactly. It's two for two. Go.
A lot of it was in the trailer, but I will say that there something's to be said when a movie can still not be unpredictable, like a comedy rather can be unpredictable. Point like, how is this gonna end? Like you genuinely feel that way towards the end, like they are totally screwed. How is this gonna, and the way it comes together is very, very good.
Since Ozzy took my last bit, I'm going to throw out there. I also love the drinking in the morning bit, the whole setup and the whole.
Oh, yes.
and the payoff later. I'll just, I'll just blame it on your drinking problem.
Also, anything Colin Farrell, any scene involving Colin Farrell, like it's really interesting. Like when I was in high school, like SWAT had come out starring Colin Farrell, and some reason, like me and my friends felt like he was being pushed down our throats as like the next movie star, right? And we're just like, right? Didn't really register as that typical, movie star. But then as he gets older and he's getting these role, or like he has this role in Horrible Bosses, and then what he just did with the Penguin, like that talent is so just incredible. Honestly, he is so much better suited for roles like these where he can do heavy character instead of trying to be like the main protagonist, like when he was initially like in that SWAT movie, for example. But when he first says, "I'm a greenbelt, motherfucker," that was a moment that made me laugh, because not even black, not even brown, but green, just two before, like, oh my god. And just as they're waiting for him to get out of the bathroom, and come on, you've been in there a while. God, you can't get any privacy around here. Like, oh man,
I got to tell you, every time I got to take a dump,
it's like he sees himself in the mirror and he's like, I got it. Like they put the prosthetics on him, and I got what I should sound like, and I got what I should act like. It's probably the same thing that happened with the Penguin. Like, just look at himself in the mirror, like, I got it. So yeah, I can't say enough good things about this. It's an easy 5 for me, 100%. I can watch this multiple times. If this coming up next on the TV or whatever, came up next on streaming, I wouldn't see what else is on. I just sit there and watch it. Now, I will say that we did watch the extended version, which did have an extra 8 minutes of footage, not available in the theatrical version. If anyone particularly interested, it was 98-minute runtime for the theatrical rated R version, 106 for the extended. So it was 5 for me easily. Like I said, I own the totally inappropriate edition. Unfortunately, does not include any commentary, just deleted scenes and typical, just throwing stuff together, just extra features on a Blu-ray. But commentary would have been one thing that I would really enjoyed. Unfortunately, not there. But Greg?
Yeah, as you mentioned, we did see the extended edition, and when we watch extended edition versions, I try to see, like, where is it what did they add, and sometimes you can tell, you're like, this scene did go on a little longer, but like, it was funny, it was fun, but like, I get why they might have cut it, and I try to see where those were. This movie really didn't have that moment. If within this extended edition, I was just like, I loved every second of it. I went into this week going, I'm not going to give, 5s, as easily, but you can't do anything less than a 5 for me, because I really enjoyed the film. There were some swerves in it that I didn't expect. I thought there were setups that went a different way than what I was expecting, which was great. But all around, it was funny. It was a good story. The characters are fantastic. I don't know how you can't give it a 5.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
No, you really, with the amount of jokes that are tailor-made for me,
Seriously,
really...
I would be surprised if you ranked it anything less.
Yeah, that the Jodie Foster line alone made it a 5 for me. Yeah, I love this one.
Yeah, very difficult to find anything bad to say about this. Available anywhere on streaming, Todd?
It is streaming on. As I'm checking. So
wow, I mean, like you like just given the title of producer and just
it's streaming on HBO Max.
Okay, it's streaming,
but
on
only
HBO
the theatrical version.
Only the theatrical version.
Yes.
Now there is a sequel. I remember seeing the sequel and I remember enjoying it, but unfortunately, I don't remember much else. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I remember being a step down, but still entertaining.
Correct. So definitely, if you want to see that one, I'd recommend seeing this one. It's going to make a lot more sense.
Well, yeah.
So I could go on for this for days, just going over line and line and line. However, it should come to an end sometime. This episode being, and you should check this out yourself, even if you haven't seen it in like a week. If you had not, rather, the only time that I would say that's okay, you don't have to watch this movie tonight would be if you just watched this movie earlier today. If you have not watched this movie, Horrible Bosses, earlier today, watch it, prioritize this weekend at least. And even if you did see it today, see it again this weekend, because I'm going to see it again this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, this Saturday, September 10th, I'll be hosting trivia at the Trade Food Hall in Irvine, beginning at 11:30, and then at 6 p.m. I'll be ring announcing at 3PWA over in Buena Park. More information at facebook.com/3PWA. And for, again, the trivia information, Trade Food Hall in Anaheim at 11:30. And of course, there is also, sorry, go ahead, Todd.
I was going to ask Greg. Greg, did you give up juggling?
Wait, what? No, why?
No, well, I'm just noticing your name.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fitting for the show. Thank you, Todd, for noticing.
Greg changing his name to a character from the film.
I didn't think he was going to notice organically, so
I apologize. Also, just sorry to finish out, I'll be hosting trivia also tomorrow, Tuesday, September 6th, Wednesday, September 7th, Thursday, September 8th, tomorrow at the brewery in Placentia at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, Griffin's Grill in Los Alamitos at 7:30. And Thursday at 7:30 at the Honey Pot Meadery in Anaheim. So I'll see you there if you can make it. And of course, I'll see you in Irvine at 11:30 for trivia, or at Buena Park at 6 p.m. for 3PWA. Todd will be there.
50-50.
Todd will be there.
Todd.
Now, listen, I mean, why is Ozzy angry about that? It's because when Todd is not there, I got to do more work. So Todd is going to be there.
Todd will be there.
Good. I don't have time for any of your Mickey Mouse BS.
Maybe I'll just send Marino in my spot.
How dare you?
That was a nice full circle for Mickey Mouse and the way this podcast started.
Fair point. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Horrible Bosses. Check it out as soon as you can, and check it out again. I'm strong feeling you're going to want to. And that is Flesh Wound producer Todd, world famous juggler Greg Larson, or today Atmanand. And I am Ozzy V, and we'll see you next week right here on a new episode of Flesh Wound Farce.